Hi Asta.
Hello.
I wanted to do this because I have a couple of questions that I've been wanting to kind of discuss with you, specifically in an area where I think I'm really bad at, right? And I see you doing that quite easily and smoothly. So I thought maybe that's the right conversation to have today, which is about multitasking. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been told that that you need to multitask in order to achieve more and to be more productive and all of that. But for some reason I've not been able to do that, and I see you do that quite a bit. I mean, you keep doing new things every time I meet you. You're talking about something new that you're doing, right? So I thought maybe we should have a conversation about that. And so I have a few questions through the session. I'll probably ask you what I have in mind, and if you could just kind of help me find answers to that.
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's get started then. So Asta, my first question obviously has to be, how do you multitask so well, so effortlessly?
Okay, so before I answer that question, I think I'll take a step back and actually give you perspective on what you said before, that how the world feels that in order to be more productive or succeed in life, you have to be a multitasker. That's not completely true. Different people are wired differently. Roughly, there are two kinds of people. Okay, there are people who are focus driven. So when they are doing one task, they can only do that one task. And then there are people who are born like this, with a peripheral vision, are able to do an if-then flow chart and then just think of multiple consequences and all of that. But both have their own pros, both have their own speciality. Like for instance, a lot of geniuses, in fact, are the ones who have to have a tunnel vision, who have to think of only one thing at a time. So it's about how you utilize what you have. So first to just break that, okay? But yes, I will share with you what do I do maybe. And again, it works for me because that's very naturally me. It happens in a span of a second that I know how my day needs to look like, what all I need to pack in it, will I be able to do it? I also set realistic targets. So in a nutshell, I think the first thing that I do or I feel why I'm able to multitask is that I'm able to compartmentalize. Though I do realize that it's not watertight compartments, but I am very clear that I don't let one thing affect something else very, very easily, unless something's really shaken me. Yes, I have exceptional days as well. But other than that, like if I have to switch from, say, a spoiled maid scene to going into a dance class, to going into an admin zone, I have very different zones, and I have to leave that behind. So I think it comes a little bit from detaching that, okay, what's gone wrong has gone wrong. I will come to it, but I cannot let it affect or have a spillover on something that's still not gone wrong, because otherwise everything, it'll be like a domino effect. So I think that's one thing that I absolutely follow. The second is I set very realistic targets for myself through the day, because I think I'm very aware of my productive capacity, what I'm good at, what I'm not good at, what takes me more time, what takes me less time. So because of that, I think because of my realistic target setting and fairly understanding how much time I take with things, I'm able to at least get done with everything that I feel I need to kind of do in space. Third, I feel I am just I'm kind of blessed with things that I love. So I'm able to really take out time for all of it, and I want to take out time for all of it. Like I really feel that if something is happening in your life that you just don't enjoy or you just don't like, you will give it the excuse of that I can't multitask. But in reality, you really don't want to. So you will keep pushing it back. And I also had that. Like I also days when I don't finish a particular task, like something's been on my list for like 3 weeks, and it's like, I'm like, do I really want to do it, or is it that I'm scared that if I do it, something will happen? Like, so those are the questions I also ask myself, and that immediately gives me an insight of why some things I'm just not completing, and the other things I can just complete. So it's a little bit of all of this.
When you were saying that some people who can focus on one thing or who choose to focus on one thing, and there are other people who probably prefer doing multiple things at the same time. So you are the latter. But at any point, do you feel that, hey, maybe I should have spent more time on just doing one thing? I should not have moved from one thing to the other and focused on so many things. Does it ever cross your mind, or your list is always okay and cool about, yeah, I want to do multiple things at the same time?
Well, to be honest, I have been questioned about my multitasking by many people, because in the world of artistry, till you don't specialize and do only one thing, you're not good enough. And I did try. I did try to, like, be focused and be in one thing for 8 full hours for like months on end. But it just sapped me to no extent. I was just like, I can't do this. For me, the reason I multitask is because life is a set of different experiences. If I do not do those experiences, then at least for me, that's life is incomplete.
Yeah, so, like you said, if it comes to you effortlessly, then it's not so much of a, right? You're not forcing yourself to do it.
Absolutely.
It just happens effortlessly for
absolutely.
you, right?
So,
interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And when you move from one thing to the other, do you kind of take time off to center yourself and maybe a little meditation? Do you do that? Because you'll obviously need to clear your cache. Right?
Yes, I need to clear my cache.
Exactly. And then
Absolutely.
before you move to the next one. So
I mean,
what do you do? How do you do it?
I do take a reset time. So I have this I have this reward principle, which I generally do, that once I finish like a chunk of work, then as a reset button / as a reward mechanism, I will do something which is very, like, either mundane or just for myself, or just to have a good time. So maybe I'll watch a show or read a book, or just spend time with myself, do a quick meditation, listen to something nice, or
so
just,
you're like just changing.
I use that as it's like a no man's zone, and that helps me also switch.
Like a coffee beans after smelling.
Absolutely, it's like palate cleanser. And I've realized that the more I allow myself that time, the duration of that time also has become shorter and shorter. Like now I don't need so much time. I mean, I might still take it, but
it's faster.
Yes, it's much faster, because I also don't guilt myself to take that time off in the middle and to reward myself for something well done. So interesting.
This other thing, which has again been eating me quite a bit, because I sometimes question myself because of this particular narrative or this particular general notion that women are fantastic at multitasking, and then I see myself questioning myself, and I'm like, hey, I'm not so good, so what does that make me? And am I supposed? And then I see myself trying hard to multitask. Like you said, I think I belong to the first one, where I like to focus on one thing, but then this whole narrative then makes me wonder, okay, am I doing something wrong? Should I be able to do multiple things at the same time? Am I just being lazy? And all these questions then start kind of bothering me.
So, I mean, I don't know if most of us know this, but even if you're born as a woman or if you're born as a man, like in the gender role play, we have both. We have the yin principle and we have the yang principle.
Sure.
We have the masculine and the feminine principle. So, yes, it is the feminine principle that does think with a wider perspective, and it is the masculine principle that has a more tunnel vision. But the fact of the matter is, this is only a body manifestation. We have both. So for all you know, in terms of that, your yang is stronger. Perhaps. Because in all other aspects, you're more yin. But in this one aspect, your masculine is stronger. And for me, like, I mean, if I think about myself, I am definitely more yang in everything else. But I think in this aspect of like just being able to get a perspective of what's happening, the feminine is extremely active. So it's got nothing to do with what we are born as in the body. It's everything to do with which principle is more active
at that
when
point.
When it comes to this aspect of your life. So it doesn't.
Is there a certain amount of anxiety that you face when you? I'm guessing not, because you've already answered how smoothly and effortlessly you do it. But for the sake of our viewers, if there is someone who is facing some sort of an anxiety when they've left one job unfinished and they have to move to the other one, right? How do they deal with this? Because I think that's something that they carry forward with them to the next job, right? I haven't finished that, and then ultimately leads to the second job also being half-baked. So they're neither there nor here. They just want to do a lot of things, but they're not completely out of the first one before they do the next one.
Well, here it's two things. I mean, one is, are you just doing multiple things for the heck of it. Because I mean, you
Yeah,
have to
because-
complete something.
Yeah.
Complete it. No, don't put so much pressure that I have to. Oh no, it's like alarm bell. I have to
Yeah.
move to the next thing again.
Yeah.
The moment you put that self pressure, your productivity falls. Your focus will also dissipate. And you will take longer. So might as well you're like, okay, fine. If today this task is taking me longer, let it. If it's so
Right.
important and I want to complete it, because
Then,
otherwise
yeah.
I will have huge guilt, let me complete it.
Yeah.
See, there is no one syllabus that, okay, if I have to do 7 things, there are some days where I just do 5 because a couple of tasks do take longer. But I know that I'll get to the other 2. Like, I don't guilt myself about it so much, because if I do, then my next day also I'll wake
Yeah,
up like feeling
exactly.
extremely groggy and my energy levels are low. I will never get to those 2 things, plus 5 other have anyways gotten added. So, so I never guilt myself. Like, if I don't finish, I don't finish. I know it's on my list, I will come to it. I'm not going anywhere, nor is that list.
Right.
So that just that knowing, and in fact, I do this very silly thing before sleeping. I literally look at my list sometimes and I'm just like, I will get to you. Don't worry, I am with you. You know, and like it just somewhere, and I
just
fall off
falls.
asleep very peacefully with that. I know it sounds very silly, but it's just these small
absolutely,
things that. Make a lot of difference. So it doesn't have to be that I have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you're feeling that your energies are still stuck on the previous task, then there's a reason.
Yeah.
Honor that, complete it. But if you feel that the other task is also very, very important, then you have to tell that task, the previous one, just like you would to a child.
Right.
I am with you. I'll come to you. I'm not abandoning you anywhere. And just move.
So, in fact, when you were talking about lists, I was quite curious. I want to see one day look at your list. I'm sure you'll have an exhaustive list.
And multiple
And,
ones.
and I'm sure when you finish every task, there must be joy in like striking it off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's something when I feel at work, if I have like a job list, just finishing one and going and striking it off gives you a certain.
Absolutely. Like I do it on my phone so that
Right.
delete,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you get shorter. It's like,
I think that's the reward, right?
Yeah.
That feeling itself
It
is
feels
the
quite
reward.
good, yes.
Yeah. Interesting. I think, I think those are the questions that I had in mind, and I'm sure there will be more that come in, and I will talk to you about it, write to you about it. And I
Please
think even if you guys, I'm sure after hearing this, if there were some questions that came to your mind which we haven't addressed here, please do write to her or just leave your questions in the comments, and Asta will definitely answer them. And I'm sure you will get your answers. Like, I think I've got a lot of my answers now, and I'm going to work with that for the next couple of days and then see where it takes me.
Absolutely.
Thank you
Please.
so much, Asta.
Thank you.
So much.
It was amazing, and please do reach out. Yes, any further questions? If you think something's unrealistic, you want something more concrete, we'll be more than happy to help.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.